Hi friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. We are working through ABC April 2025 and today is the letter K. So I have a whole bunch of stuff on my desk and we're bringing out our flippy floppy. We're gonna do a little bit of work on this today, probably very minimal work on this because the letter K is going to be for kit. We are gonna build a kit and I'm going to talk through kind of how I go about this. I have a few other videos on my channel regarding kit building, so I'll make sure they're linked below. Don't forget to click on the hashtag that's in the title of this video and the description below so you aren't missing out on anything. So there are so many people participating in this right now, so it's a massive library of content, so go check it out after you watch my video. Okay, so we have flippy floppy back out. We have done nothing in this since F is for flippy floppy, so we've got some work ahead of us. And I had said I'm going to try to incorporate this into all the rest of the videos for the rest of the month, and I've already failed. Kind of, not really. So let's see. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my desk. Rather than me pulling it all off and then bringing one by one, we're just gonna like quickly talk through it because I think it's all in frame. Anything on the outer edges I'll bring in. Okay, so kits. Why do we build a kit? We build a kit so we have a focus. We build a kit so we are not overwhelmed by all of the stuff, because if I am working on a project and all my stuff is available to me, everything in my whole entire craft space, I'll get nothing done. It's distracting to go through things. It's distracting because I see something else. I'm like, oh, that'd be a good idea, but it doesn't relate at all to the project I'm working on. So yeah, just build a kit. You can build a massive kit like I did for Field Notes Folio, which is a video linked below. Or for this project, this is not a huge project. It's big, but it's not huge. We could build a small focused kit. For my video yesterday for J, or today or whenever it was posted, J is for journal, I did a tiny journal. It was a long one. It was over 2 hours. So if you stuck around and watched that or came back in multiple parts, or you know that fast forward button, I'm not even joking. Hit 1.5. I mean, it might sound like a chipmunk, but if you want to get through some content quickly, sometimes I can do that. You know, the only person I can't do that on is Margaret. I cannot fast forward her voice. Her voice is so lovely, I just want to hear it at normal speed. But sometimes I fast forward videos because I want to see it. I want to see the whole thing, but I don't have that kind of time. So I understand that 2 hours is a long time, but it was a project from start to finish. Did I build a kit for that? Not really, but I did have a focus. My focus was to keep it simple, minimal supplies, keep it very beginner friendly, and to use up some digitals. And I specifically used primarily my This and That Volume 1. So I didn't spend the time to build a kit, but I did have a kit, so to speak. So digital kits are already made for you. That's awesome. You could easily add other pieces to it. There's so many different ways to do this, but this is how I like to do it when I have a project of this scale. So I went through last night, sitting on the floor in my craft room, late into the evening. I went through all kinds of bins, boxes, packages, all the things, knowing specifically that I am working on William's flippy floppy. So I have a focus, right? I want it to be masculine. I want it to be industrial. I want it to be heavy with a machine, blueprint, schematics kind of vibe to it. Things that are going to pertain more to him. And it's going to build this story, right? So we've already kind of started talking about this story about who he is, where he came from, little pieces like that. So I already have something in my head. That's not always the case. I don't always start a kit kind of after I've started a project. Sometimes I build it as I'm going. But I still would have a focus. I still would have maybe the focus of masculine. I don't know why I'm having a hard time catching my breath right now. You guys probably think I'm having like major health issues. I'm not. I'm just a fast talker and I don't breathe properly, apparently. So it's a masculine theme. It's going to be more grungy. I know I want it to be industrial. So that is kind of how I can hone in on what this is going to look like. So here is what I've pulled out. And I kind of do it in categories. Categories change a little bit depending on the project, but for this one, I think I kept it pretty general. So yesterday I talked about having a notebook to take notes. If this is something that you find interesting, building a kit, grab yourself a piece of paper, a notebook, whatever it is, and make some notes, okay? So here we go. This is my Flippy Floppy William Anderson kit. So I went through a pretty hefty box. I'm gonna do an organization video for the letter O, and just do kind of a quick walkthrough of my office. I gotta be honest, it might be a bit messy, the space, because I don't have time to clean my entire office to make it show worthy. So you guys are gonna get a true real life look at what a crafter's craft looks like. I am not gonna hold back. So look for that. For O is for organizing. Okay, big box of bin, whatever you wanna call it, of printed digitals. Sometimes when I get a kit, and I have some time, and I want to be creative, and I want to be crafty, but I don't really want to do all the things, sometimes I just go in and I print out stuff. Sometimes I fussy cut. Sometimes I do those things. Not super often, but, or when I'm working on some other project, maybe I print 2 of one page that I know I'm going to use something else. This happens to be one of those. I printed this, I swear I printed this like 5 times. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to direct you to where everything came from. So if there's something you see in this video that you're like, I need to know where you got that, drop me a comment below, ask me where whatever is. If you can even timestamp it, if it's a vague item, if you're like, I don't know how to describe that thing, let me know in the video at what point I talk about it, and I will try to get you a resource. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this. Okay, so printables. I've decided I need to bring in some color because everything is going to otherwise be very neutral, grungy colors, which is great. I love that. But I wanted to incorporate some other color, and red is always the easiest color. So this has a lot of options. This has got a lot of great little inclusions that I can put, things I can decorate. So I grabbed that. I have had this page floating around for quite a while. I think I've used it in some other projects, but I really, really want to make this big tag and use some of these pieces. So I'm challenging myself to use this as is this piece. I can't recall ever cutting this out and folding it up the way it's intended. So I think I want to use this. I might run this back. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, I might run it back through my printer to print on the other side, but apparently I was thinking ahead. So cool. Yay, past Kelly. And then I printed this page out. This is from Art House Whimsy. It's just photographs, collage 2, I think. I was looking for, remember we talked, if you missed the video, F is for Flippy Floppy. I talked about, is it F? No, it was G. We made up the story, and G is for grid. We talked about, I always say we now, because you're along with me, right? You friends, you're part of this. So we are a collective now. I speak in the we terms. I talked about his family, his history, where he came from. So I needed a photo of his father, and this guy right here is screaming, Dad. I don't remember if we came up with a name for him. So if we did, it's going to change because I can't remember. This would be another good choice. I want him to be a little bit older in this photo, and I want him to be serious looking. So I found that. And mom could be on here too. A younger mom, or, you know, in her older years. Maybe, you know, maybe that's him when they were married. I don't know. That looks like the same lady. So I have some photos to work with. And look what I found. If you have been watching my latest videos, I've been talking about Margaret's boo-boo tape that I swore up and down I printed, I cut, and I could not find it. And I thought, maybe I imagined it. Maybe I thought I was going to do it. Maybe I never actually did the printing and cutting. I did it. I found it in case closed because I did go peek around in that kit. Well, it's not really a full kit, but I found it. So I have the boo-boo tape. Okay, so those are just my digitals. I have more, but these are what I pulled last night because when we started Flippy Floppy, I also had all of these pieces here, these digitals that I had printed. So I also have those. So these are just additional ones to add to that, but that is a part of that process. Get that out of here. How did I have this? Folders. Folders are your friend. Bins. What do you do with all of this? I'll pull out a bin here in just a bit and show you kind of how I corral it all. But manila folders, get yourself a box of these, or make yourself, get some big paper, fold it in half, make a folder. Those are going to be very, very helpful to you when you are working on a project. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to, what are we going to move on to? Maybe I'll just pull this out so it's not distracting. So set that aside. Next, excuse me, these pieces here. Oh, something caught me there. Okay, I'm so sorry for any throat clearing, but seem to have a little tickle in my throat today. Okay, so these are pieces I pulled out of multiple bins and boxes. This is ephemera packs. This is digitals I've already printed and cut. I keep I keep a bin of, I wouldn't call them scraps, they're actually usable pieces. And then I have kind of all my Tim Holtz ephemera and all my other packages and things like that. So this was just a combo of going through it, and I sorted it into this category. These pieces here are going to be used for cards. So I'm going to make, I'm going to need to make some cards to stick into pockets and things like that. So these are some good bases that I can use to make cards. So I have those. Then we go down the line of paper, and I have all of these pieces. These will be great for larger clusters or, little add-ons here and there, but of a larger nature. Then we get into ones that are a bit smaller. And don't forget, we can cut out more from our digitals. So this isn't just what I have to work with, but it's a good start. These are smaller little doodads. I don't know what to call them. Little bits and pieces that we can add to little clusters and things like that. So we've got some different shapes. I was thinking different shapes because in the tiny journal I did yesterday, that was one of the struggles, is that I had all these things that were rectangles and squares. I didn't really have a lot of shape things because I wanted to keep it simple. If I was making that project and went through all my stuff, there would have been butterflies and flowers and bugs and whatever other little random things I would have found. But for this project, I did go through and find a few ephemera packs that had some interesting things. Like, when am I ever going to use an old-timey car? I don't know when I would use that, or this piece here. These are not pieces I would gravitate towards typically, but because this project has a focus, I'm going to use them up. So it's a great way to, as I say, stash bust. All your stuff, you can use it. Stop hoarding. I'm telling myself as much as I'm telling you. Okay, next little pile, we'll go here. This is like the odds and ends. They don't really fit into any of these categories for me, but I want to try to use them up. So as I was going through my bin of things, I was looking for like just the random things that I can start using up. So like, here's a pocket that I cut on my, with a die cut, and I just didn't use it. So I should probably use that. I have a ton of these tabs that I sat down and mass made one day, and I want to use some of these up. So I grabbed a few of those. I have this ticket thing that we made during, what did we do that with? Documents. D is for documents. I made that one. I don't remember if I made it on camera or if I did it offline. Off camera. But I want to use that. Excuse me. And then I have another one that I had already cut. And hey, look, K is for craft. Look at what I did. I did not intend that, but that worked out. So we can do something with that. And then this just, I don't know, where does it fit? It's just a piece of old book paper that I had stamped on. I'm just going to throw it in the odds and ends. Here's another really random odds and ends that I found. It's just a cut piece of the fabric tape from Tim Holtz. I have a whole roll of it, but this piece was just lingering. And then here is one of those altered tea bags that I had made. It's got some print on it, and then like a dial or something in it. It's kind of hard to see through. There's another one on this side. So that fits. It's a little industrial. And then I like this side. I don't necessarily love this, but I'll probably leave it because the font is nice. It's black paper, and it kind of matches the theme. So those are the odds and ends. What else? Tags. We have some tags. So I just grabbed a collection of tags, trying to look at ones that made sense for this theme. So these are the selvage tags from Tim Holtz. A couple of these are. And then this is a digital I printed, and then this came out of a different ephemera pack. So I have some tags. And then to add to that, I have the ones that I cut out from our video the other day. G is for grid. These are from Margaret's Gothic architecture kit. I'm just going to add those in. We'll see if I get to use those. I'm running out of room. Let's move you over here. I'm keeping this on my desk for focus. Like, what are we doing here? This guy. I did pull this out because today I want to do some alcohol ink. So I have that out on my desk and I'm ready to go. I'm going to do it in rust. This is my little cup I keep for alcohol inking metal. And, ooh, gross. I inked some staples. So my stapler is ready to be refilled. Ugh, that was gross. So I'm going to do that today. Let's see. Moving on. Let's go here. I have some tissue paper. This is, or collage paper, or whatever you call it. So these are, I can't remember if these all came out of the same collection. These are Tim Holtz, his newer style of how he was doing this, although I guess he's not doing ideology anymore, so his one and done. Change? I don't know. So I pulled these out. I don't know if I'm going to use these collage papers, but I'd like to because they totally fit with the theme. So let's just set those over with the digitals. I have my window open, so if the breeze comes, everything's gone. All right, we did the tags. Let's see, what do we have left? Let's go over here. These are a couple of just random pieces of paper I found in that random bin of mine. But they lend themselves to this topic. This one says rivet at the top, and it's got these rivets at the bottom. So I thought that was kind of cool. This piece here has some hinges, and then on the other side there's some stuff. I have more of this. It came from an old encyclopedia DIY handbook thingy, and there's a lot of drawings and things in there. So if I do feel like I need to go and get any other big pieces of paper that have that, I do have that readily available. That's kind of the thing with this. When you're building a kit, there are no rules. You make your own rules. If you're working along and you're like, I just need whatever, go get it out of your kit, out of your stash, out of your multitude of supplies and add it in. There's no rule. You can't, don't put yourself into a box that you have to stick with what you pulled unless you're going away on a retreat. Then you kind of have to, but you don't have to do that. I've tried that before because I'm like, no, I'm just going to use what I pulled. That is kind of dumb. Don't do that. Just be okay with flexibility. Grab some other stuff if you need it. Maybe you didn't really think through part of the project and you were like, I don't have enough of this to do that at all. Go get it. All right, moving on. I don't use these very often. These are the Tim Holtz paper dolls. I'm terrible at pulling these out. I used a lot of them around Christmas. I did some Christmas crafting. I never really showed you guys that, so maybe someday I will, but I made a bunch of little cards and I used some of these. One day I did sit down and make a few cards with them because I had never played with them when I first got a pack, and that was really fun. It doesn't always fit into my, it's hard for me because I'm getting better. This whole junk journaling world has changed this for me and helped me grow. But I've always had a hard time with being literal in my crafts. You know, like, does it make sense to bring in flowers for this project? No, I can't do that. But actually I could. So to have a little tiny person just hanging out on, you know, a card like that, my brain is like, that's ridiculous. Why would that happen? So I've had to push myself out of that comfort zone. My husband hates watching movies and shows with me because anything that is, and I only like to watch fiction. I only like to watch things that are just very unlikely to happen in real life, because then I just don't have to think about, like, what would I do in that situation? But I still yell at the TV and say, but that's ridiculous. That would never happen. Like, that's so stupid. And he gets really mad at me. Anyway, let's just finish over on this side. Sellotape, Tim Holtz sellotape, but now I have my boo-boo tape from Margaret, so I'm going to use probably both, because I do need to use this. I can't just abandon it. It's good stuff. So I'll use that. Okay, let's go this way. I'm going to pull these two in together, because they kind of go together. This is terribly ripped up packaging. I better drink my coffee here. Sorry for the slurping noises. Every time I put my coffee on my table and then it's cold. Yesterday, I drank my coffee. I finished the last bit at like 3 in the afternoon, and it was cold. And some people might be grossed out by that, but I was not. I'm not wasting good coffee. Okay, focus. Calligraphy pen set. This had wooden pen thing. It probably is somewhere. And it had all these nibs. And I had seen Margaret use this in her Gunther journal. And I was like, I have to do that. So I have made one. Case closed. I have a pen nib that I did this too. But what I did is I pretty much just followed what Margaret did. And it works like a treat. I'm going to dye I don't remember if she dyed it, but I'm going to dye mine. Because I think she had like actual antique ones that were already like patinaed and everything. Not me. This is from Hobby Lobby. I've also seen them on Amazon. I kept looking at one on Amazon, and then I was at Hobby Lobby one day and they were on sale and I was like, that's what I want. So I got it. Anyway, there's several different styles here. These are fun to add into journals, especially this kind. It's a little hard sometimes because they can add bulk, but I'm going to make it work because I really want to use another one of these. And then I'm going to just take some of this, whatever this is. It's just called trimmings. Natural biodegradable hemp cord. So hemp cord. It has a name. Hemp cord. Just wrap it around a few times. Hot glue. This is gonna be a hot glue situation. And it's just really cool. It's really great for, I think, a project that is, I don't know. I imagine it being, well, it'll be great for this because you can make it look kind of more industrial and masculine and all that. But think about it with like, I can just envision it with a really pretty floral English garden style. I'm closing my eyes as I envision this journal with love letters and photos and a beautiful pen. And I want to make that now. That sounds lovely. Someday. So that's gonna be a fun thing to do. Ooh, I need something for P. This is gonna be maybe P. I'm gonna have to remember that. Because then I can make a really quick short one because I'm gonna be in Texas during that time. So I have to film a bunch of videos like this weekend. Okay, moving on. This is a little pouch of bits and pieces that I have used my die cutting machine to use up some dies, test some things out, and then I have this little baggie of things to use. So I keep, these are all colors that tend to lend themselves to a lot of my grungy projects. So I keep some scraps there, and then there's more craft paper. I'm gonna regret pulling these all out. I don't need all of those. Okay, so what's in here? Tabs, these reinforcer thingies. I thought those would be kind of fun to use. I followed along with Margaret, maybe in 100-day project a couple of years ago. She made a bunch of these thingies that go on top of like tickets, tags. Where'd my tag pile go? Okay, let me grab one so I can kind of demonstrate this. So imagine that this is then on top of here. Maybe a poor example, but I think you get the point. Or maybe, you know, like, I don't know. So I thought that would be fun to have access to. I don't know that I'll use these per se, but they are fun. And then, of course, the hole reinforcers. So we could do all kinds of fun things with that. So it's fun to have some ready to go, because if you're coming along, working on a project, all of a sudden you have a little light bulb moment. And you're like, oh, that would be so cool. And then you can put a little hole reinforcer, and then you're like, oh, but then I got to get out my die cutting machine or, you know, alternatives and make them. And ugh, I don't want to do all that. And since I have this out real quick, I'm going to show you guys a trick. Let me grab this. If you don't have a die, but you have a tiny little hole punch, I don't even know what that size was, 1/2 inch maybe. Here's what you can do. I don't have it close by and I'm not going to stop to go get it, but imagine I just punched another one over here. No, I'm sorry. Imagine I have my little hole punch out. We talked about this yesterday. Get yourself one of these. Great investment. Quick little hole punch. What you would do, I will be able to use this, so I'm going to do this. You punch this hole first. Then you punch your small circle around that. You center it and do that. And that will give you a hole reinforcer if you don't have a silly little die to do it. So there's a quick trick for you. Okay. What haven't we touched yet? This pile here. Okay, here, I pulled these out because I don't use these very often and I want to. This is like film negative stuff. It's a Tim Holtz product. I don't know if you could still find it. I've had it for a while and you don't need much because this will last me forever. But I thought it'd be fun to try playing with that a little bit. Then these 3 products are all from the same source, and I gotta be honest, I cannot remember what it's called. This is probably difficult to see, so let's grab something. There we go. You see that? So it's this pet tape, P-E-T. I don't know if that's how you say it, if you call it pet tape, but I had more. I must have put it away. I think the website was Pinky Elephant or something with an elephant. I can't remember. If this is something you're looking for, drop me a comment and I will go and hunt it down. But this is what am I doing here? This is what I bought. It was not cheap. I want to say it was like $15 or more for a roll. I was able to get it here in the United States, came from California, and there's a lot on it. Margaret shared this a while back and I was like, I must have. So I've got, as you can see, a very large roll of this. So I thought this would be fun to use. This is one of those things that I don't use a ton because it's kind of shiny. And so in my projects, it doesn't always work well. I don't like the shininess, but sometimes you just got to embrace it. And then on that website, you're able to buy like a sample size, bite size. I don't remember what to call it, but you get like a smaller strip. It was bigger than this. I just cut a piece off. But then you can kind of test it out and see what you think. Cause I wasn't sure I needed a whole roll of this. And I also got it in black. And I was right. I don't need a whole huge stinking roll of this, but I do like having some. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to try to, it's just going to do that again. And this is same place, same company that produced it. But this one I like because it's more of a matte vellum kind of a sticker. And there's a ton on here. So I pulled this out so I could use this. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll cut a big strip of the whole run of all the design, because it's pretty long, and cut them apart into smaller pieces and then put them into projects. So I have that out. Okay, we're getting there. Let's go here. I just happen to have these already ready to go. I think I brought them with me on a retreat or something. I don't even remember why I have these out, but before I put them back, I thought, oh, I'll just keep them out because then I can use them in the flippy floppy. So I have a clip. This is safety pins and bulb pins. And then this one is these little dangly things. Well, it's connected right now. These are for making bracelets, apparently. But I saw them and I don't know, I was just walking around the craft store and I thought, ooh, actually those would be pretty cool to clip and clamp down on the side of a page. You can kind of see that. And put a dangle on. So I have a whole thing of them, but they're in the jewelry making aisle at your local craft store. Something to do with bracelets. I don't know what they're called. Okay, so there's some hardware. Plus, again, we're gonna do something with that. And what was this? There's something else I just thought of that I needed to do. Oh, and the pen nib. I think I'm gonna hold off on that today because I'm gonna do a quick video about that one. Last pile. Here we go. This is not going into this portion here, but these collage strips from Tim Holtz, the larger ones and the small ones, both sides, I was like, why would you ever buy those? No offense to anybody that's like, I buy those all the time, I love them. Because here, let me finish. Originally, I thought, why would you buy those? You could just make that. And then I bought them because I got them on sale. And I was like, why wouldn't you buy those? They're fantastic. Because they have so many little perfect little things. Like you cut this is, I'm telling you what, you get a pack of these and you're good for a real long time on bits and pieces to create ephemera with, because you can use the whole thing. You can cut it down into smaller cards. Like look at this, cut it here, and now I have 2 cute little cards that I can embellish. And the majority, I don't think all, but almost all of them come with some photo on it. It's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Multitasker. It's your crafty multitasker collage strip. So this is the bigger ones. And when I was thinking about William's parents, or William himself, I saw this picture and I thought, ooh, that could work. So I pulled that one out. Then, this is also a Tim Holtz product. I have so much of it, it's time to use it up. These are the, I don't remember what they're called. Photograph layers, something. I don't know. I grabbed a few out. I didn't grab a ton. And there's two sizes. There's one that's bigger. If I do need those, I'll go get them. And then I have some photos here. So a combo of things. I can get my fingers to work. This one, she is a nurse or, you know, works in a hospital or something. And I thought, well, maybe that's what William's sweetheart does, his wife. So I thought that would be a really cool picture to use. And then this one could also be his mom or somebody in his life, which is very stoic looking. And then now you'll get the whole, there we go. Cool, huh? So that's why I pulled those out, because I came across this photo. And then these are from the Tim Holtz snapshots, I think they're called. I just grabbed these two here. This one here actually said from Bill. It says to Ray something or other from Bill, see you in California. And I thought, what if some of his backstory is that when he went off to be in the service, nobody was calling you William when you're in the service, I would imagine. I don't know. I did not serve, but thank you to those who did. What if all his buddies, all of his army buddies called him Bill or Billy or Billy Bob or Jimbo? I don't know. Jimbo's probably not for Bob or Billy or William. I think that's James. Who knows? People make up weird nicknames. Anyway, so I grabbed that one out because maybe this whole flippy floppy is like his private little world, right? He keeps things that it doesn't fit with his persona he's trying to portray of this very smart, stoic, quiet, reserved, well-respected man. And inside he's actually a little bit like, but I liked being Bill. I want to be Bill. But I was raised to be William. So I don't know, we're spitballing here. Here's another photo I pulled out because honestly I swear it might be the same guy. This guy and this guy. But on the other I was gonna say honestly, again, the other reason is because there's a dog in both ones and it looks like it could be the same dog. Like this is his dog here. I don't know if you would have a dog when you're in the army, probably not, but maybe this is at the end of his service and he found this dog or he got a dog somehow. And then he took this dog with him for the rest of his life or the dog's life. So the dog needs a name. Ooh, we got to get a name for the dog. But this guy right here in the middle could be him too. And he looks a little like I'm trying to be serious, but I'm also trying to have fun. And maybe he's part of some group. Maybe that's his dad. Maybe this is his company. Maybe this is company. Maybe this is, what's his name? That's the boss. That's, we haven't given the boss a name. That's the guy that calls him Bill. That's that's boss's son who signed off on, where is it? Maybe that is Gilbert. Okay, so maybe this is Mr. Higgins here, his boss. This is Gilbert. Here's William, and we got two more guys. This is his team, and William, his dog, goes everywhere. He comes to work with him and everybody. Everybody loves the dog. The dog needs a name, a very respectable, funny dog name. All right, do you see how exciting this is? We're building a story. It's so fun. Okay, so this is my kit, okay? So let me go and grab a few things to show you how I will store this. And then we will, I don't know, we'll make a card or something. I don't want this to be another marathon video because you guys, if you sat through J is for Journal, you deserve a break. Thank goodness it's Sunday tomorrow and you can rest your eyeballs or catch up on all the content. Okay, let me clear the decks and we'll start. Actually, I'm not going to clear the decks. We're going to start organizing this into a vessel. Okay, I'll be back. All right, it's been a couple hours since I last filmed. I had to go and do, mom things. And as predicted, did not finish my coffee. Be drinking that here shortly. Okay, I grabbed a couple of bins. I was going to grab another one. I have a big one that I will do for a big kit. And rather than go and grab that, there is a video linked below, or a playlist rather, for any other type of stash busting or kit making videos I have. You can go check that out for other ideas. I've used all kinds of different containers. I even have a video where I talk about how I pack for, like, if I want to take stuff with me on a weekend, or to the cabin or a retreat, things like that. Okay, so I grabbed a few things that I did have because this isn't a huge amount of stuff. I think this will work just fine. So the only thing I won't be able to keep in here are the full 8.5 by 11 sheets of digitals. So I got this recently at the Dollar Tree. I got a couple of them, so they're not they're not heavy duty by any means, but they'll work for now. But like I said, they won't fit the 8.5 by 11. But that's okay, because I just will keep those in, like I said, a manila folder or some sort of folder system. All right, so here's how I do this. I just load it in. I am a messy crafter. I don't mind having stuff layered on top of each other and kind of a mess when I'm, you know, working. I think it's kind of inspiring sometimes, but I do have little piles, so we'll just kind of keep them loosely in their little bits here, the little piles. So all I'm going to do is stack everything in here. Now, if I also wanted to incorporate, sorry, I'm making a mess, another container within the container, for example, if I wanted to have something like this, I think this one's too tall. Yeah, that one's too tall, so we won't use this one. But this one would work. Or let me grab one other thing. Do I have one handy? Okay, I changed my mind. I ended up grabbing a couple more things. So this is what I was trying to reach for. Also was interrupted by my husband, my youngest. Everybody wants to bother me today. I guess it is Saturday. Probably should be doing stuff with my family. Okay, anyway. Organization. For me, personally, I kind of have an aesthetic going in my office, a space. I like things to be white, clear, things like that, or my favorite color. So there's a lot of that. But anyway, when I'm organizing, I like things that are clear. So this is a pencil box from Target. Get them at Walmart. I think it's by the brand Sterilite. Yeah, Sterilite. So just a little box. And then this little tray here, I get from Target. But you know, keep your eyes open. You might be able to find something similar. It's actually, what's the brand? It's the Made by Design brand. And it goes on top of these kind of boxes. They have different sizes, so you can actually, it's a lid, but you buy them separately. So I buy these separately because I really like the square tray. This lives on my desk all the time. This is my little trash right on the side for scraps. And then I have a bigger one on the floor, garbage. Anyway, okay, so I will sometimes keep something like this because it fits so nicely in here, and then I can pull it out. And if I'm keeping little bits and things like that, I already have it ready to go. So that's one way I will organize a kit. And then boxes like this, or reaching. Here's another, this is smaller than this, but it's another one of those large pencil boxes. And this one has a couple of these trays. So I've actually got part of a project going here. So this one I have multiple layers of trays. So I have, the whole box actually doesn't have a lot in it. I have these two, and then I have two of these trays. So these have been in this box for so long that they just live here now. And this box, the smaller one I just showed you, actually the two smaller ones I just showed you, are all part of a larger kit because I have a big project going. And finally, oh my gosh, I'm gonna break my wrist. This box. This is the box that the Field Notes kit is living in. So it opens up, it's 12 by 12. Here's another one of those Target trays. Like I said, I don't know if they have a lid for this one, but I'm kind of a sucker for organization and bins and stuff. But this one does fit, you know, 8.5 by 11, the digitals and all the things. So for Field Notes project, I have this bin and I have those other ones I just showed you. Okay, let me clear these. And then for this one, we're gonna use this tray here. So I think I'll just stick some of these smaller things in here. That way, I also have a space for, let's see, got the photos. We'll put this one in here. And then I can also stick all of these in here. We'll go ahead and, come on, everybody find your spot. Where are you gonna go? Let's just do this. Oh, now, because this kit I'm using it home. I'm not really traveling with this. I don't have to worry about going to a different location or even a different spot in my house, which that is sometimes an option. If you're, working on a project, you want to be mobile, you think about a kit. But for this particular project, I just want to be able to put it away when I'm not working on it and come back to it. Uh-oh, does it fit? These things are dumb. They're from the dollar store, so they're cheap. There. And look, wonky handle. I would not carry it like that. But this way I can put it away when I'm not working on this project. I bet the project would even fit in here. Let's find out. Where is it? Where is the flippy floppy? There it is. Will it fit? At this stage it will, but over time it won't. So then if I need to adjust, maybe I take this bin out and that goes there. Does it fit? Kind of. The manila folder will sit with this. Ta-da. There. I set it aside. I come back to it. So that is kind of how I address a kit. Now there's some things that we did not add to this kit, and that is because, again, this project, I'm working on it at home, nearby, all my stuff. So what I have access to are more washi tapes, my inks, my stamps, my tools, all those things are within reach of me. When it comes to stamps, what I'll do is I will actually just pick out the stamps I think I'm most likely to use and keep them nearby, but I have access to all my stamps. This also helps me narrow down my focus and not be overwhelmed by looking through every single stamp every single time I want to stamp something. I just go with what I know and what I like. So that is how I approach an avalanche. No, just kidding. Things were going everywhere. That is how I approach a kit. Okay, so now we have our kit. How are we going to work on this? So when it's time to work on it, I'm probably going to just have this nearby. Have my printables nearby, and I'll have this. I probably wouldn't keep these things in here. I would just make this or have them nearby, take them out, something like that. So I'm actually going to take those back out because we don't really need that bulk in here. But I do have all these things here. So let's take a look at our flippy floppy and see if there's anything we can make quickly. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, so I wanted to look at, where is the card? So I'm just going to take these things back out. So I have a little pile in front of me. So I know what I'm working with. That's why I like those little trays. They work out well. Here it is. I want to grab this out. Yeah, I thought this might fit. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting this is going to go here. But I'm going to cover this with something else. I want to cover this with some paper. Should we just do that and then stamp this and make and add a K for craft paper? Let's do that. Let's make a quick little thing. Uh-oh, that didn't go there. To go on that pocket. And then we will have done K is for kit and for craft paper. Okay, so get everybody out of the way. All right, we are going to need to see, what color was I doing? This is the other thing. If for this, for a particular project, if I know that I want to stick to a certain ink pads or certain colors, I might pull those out and incorporate it, but I might not. It really depends on how often I'm going to work on that project. If it's the only thing I'm going to be working on for a while, I might have those set aside so I don't forget what colors. Maybe I'll make myself a note, different ways to organize that. So let me do some inking on this because you guys don't need to watch that. And then I'll find what background paper I'm going to use, and then we will just make our little pocket. Okay, I said I was going to ink it and then come back to you guys, but I am going to bring you along on this one because as I was starting to do vintage photo, I realized you can barely see it. And since we're talking about craft paper, let's talk about this. So for this particular one, I'm going to actually go with scorched timber. I'm going to go darker. Let's see if that gives us, oh yeah, that's given me a darker, dirtier, grungy vibe. So then I'm going to just do the edges in that. And then I'm going to try vintage photo, but the ink instead of the oxide to see if I like that a little better. I really liked that I already had this ready to go. A little grunge there. Oh wait, oh boogers. Guess what I just did? Oh no, wait, yeah, okay. That was right. I also have ground espresso on my desk, and I had a moment of panic, because here's vintage photo. That is not the one I want, though. I want the ink. Get all of those guys out of the way. I want to just see. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's giving me the darker tone I want, but a little bit warm still. Perfect. Okay, we're also gonna use, let's just use fallen leaves. Let's stamp in fallen leaves. Let's do some stamping. I want to use the big, where is it? I've got a couple of them here. I've got this one here, or these ones here. I'm thinking maybe that one. And then the paper, I said I would have that ready, and I lied because I don't have it ready. Okay, I have this little stack here. And then let's take a look. Where's the flippy floppy? Let's look at what we're going to have on the inside. Okay, so we're going to open it up. So we know that this is going to be, these ones are going to be like this. We're going to cover this, and we're going to cover this. So the question is, do we cover them with the same, putting things in the ink. The same thing, wrap it around just like we did this piece for some interest and consistency, or do we treat them as two separate pieces? I have this larger, oh, it's not quite big enough. Okay, well you're out. Thank you very much. Over here. Okay, let's see what we've got in here. Some pieces here. See, this is like a nicer, darker color, a warmer color. So I don't want to use anything too cool. So this may not, I don't know where that's going to land. Let's see here. Okay, that works. Potential. Too cool. I definitely want to use this somewhere else, and I'm going to do antique linen over it to warm it up, but I don't want it on here. That's probably going to go over on that side. Let's see, how about, and also we got to look at different parts of this. Something like that. Maybe. Ooh. Wait, we were going to make an envelope out of that. I need to remember to do that. I'm going to set that aside. Oh, this one's nice. I kind of like that down there. Except for the envelope, the pocket's going to cover part of it, which I just realized I might be okay with because, there it is. I don't know that I want this word Gothic there. I would like to cover part of that up. So if we have this pocket here, what's that going to look like? Come on, why aren't you folding? So, here's what I don't like about that. And I can trim it, but I don't like this right here. Let's see if we were to do it on this side. Nope. You know what I don't like here? I don't like seeing the word photography. Okie dokie. What else we got here? Okay, these are card pieces. No, I don't want to use that. No. Maybe. No. And I think we get into some paper. Ooh, could do black. With this on top of it? No. That's a little too adventurous for me at this point. Here we go. These will work. All right, let's go to those. Those are probably more of what I'm thinking. All right, so that decision process is done. Whoosh. Let's get all of that put away. Then, now we've narrowed it down to what, 4 pieces? Okay. So let's see, does this, see, I don't like how that cuts off. I think these are gonna get cut down into cards. I think I like that better. Then we have this one. Yeah, that's more of what I'm thinking. We did, ooh, that's lovely. I like that one. Yeah, that's really cool. So if we imagine that, it's a tie between these two. I think I'm gonna go with this one because that way I'll have an easier time of incorporating these colors on this side because it'll tie together. So that's the route I'm gonna go. Okay, so let me get these out of the way. And then the next thing I want to think through is, do I want to wrap it around? Or do I want the backside to be different? I kind of think I want to wrap it around. So that's what I'm gonna do. Where's my scissors? Is this on the back? No, okay, good. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is wrap it from this side around. And I kind of want the green color, because let's see. If we envision, look, I can't envision it with this white. Let's get rid of that. Because I have to decide where, hello, yeah, where I want to, do I want to start it at the top? So here's another tip when you're making your kit. You know, maybe just trim these down if you have paper with white borders. Save yourself some time and headache. Okay, there. That's why I like borderless printing. Okay, so if we go from this side and wrap it around, right, we're gonna get that big blob of green. If we, I keep forgetting to mute my phone, sorry. If we do this side, I'm not gonna really see that green on the front, which is the whole thing I wanted. So do we trim it down? Here we go again with the ruler. You know this is not my strong suit. It's 4 1/4. Well, no, it's a little more than that. Let's say 4 1/2. So at 4 1/2, we're basically gonna come right here, fold it in half right there. So I don't really have a whole lot of room. If we go this way, gonna start here. Either way, I'm getting that green blob if I go to the top. So if I just trim up a bit, yeah, I'm going to cut this down. I hope I didn't just make a fatal error with not measuring. I think I'll be fine. Just barely. That's a close one. Okay. Then we'll just do this. I think I'm losing kind of that green tone I wanted, but I think it'll work in the end. Get my ruler, pull it a little bit from the edge. So I don't have too much bulk. There we go. All right, so we're gonna fold it right about there. And let's see, how's that gonna look? Yeah, I think that's gonna look great. All right, let's trim her down. Really eyeballing it all here. Because if it's not straight, that's okay. I don't mind. Got that. Okay. That didn't make sense. That does though. Yeah, okay, cool. Then this pocket's gonna go on here. Oh yeah, that's great. And then when we have a card or something in, oh yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, perfect. And this really worked out cool. This is like centered almost, which normally I wouldn't care about, but that did turn out cool. And then when you flip it open, you'll get that green. Yeah, and I won't be covering all that loveliness up. Well, I probably will, but not yet. All right, so then let's crease that a bit more. And let's trim this. So we don't need to go all the way to the top. So we're gonna trim it right about there. All right. I know exactly what's gonna happen if I try to cut it with them folded in half. It's gonna be real bad. So I'm just gonna do it by eyeing it across. There we go. Okay, so then this goes like that. It's perfect. And then we'll have a top loading pocket. So let's go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna do a little bit of inking on this before I have it glued down, because I think it'll just be easier. And I just had an idea. Ooh, that is really not straight. Still not straight. I'm gonna get a big round punch. Do I have one handy? I do. There we go. All right. Gonna grab a punch, because I'm gonna close it up. And remember, this is gonna be a top loading pocket. But I'm gonna punch a little round part there. Okay, let's see. I need to be able to get this out of my way. Get out of the way. Come on, everybody. All right, so all I'm gonna do, I could have done this before I attached the envelope, but I don't know if I knew for sure I was gonna do top loading. So here's what we do, is we just slit the opening up at the top. Just across the top like that. You don't need much, because we're just opening it up. So now, the whole top's open. Okay. So let's see. Okay, I need to finish inking. So all the way around. And then because I'm going to cut into it, I'm going to ink on the inside a little bit too before I glue it down. And don't forget the sides. And this side. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I'm trying to think. Tomorrow is Sunday, so tomorrow there will not be a video, although for all I know this video will be on Sunday, because I'm having a hard time with this schedule of posting, getting it edited, and also not abandoning my family. But half of it's technology, half of it's me, so we're getting there. But I have a feeling I'll get this one up today, so you should be seeing this on Saturday, where I am. It's Saturday. Okay. So, let's see here. So I'm hoping to film a few more videos this weekend, so I'm ahead of the game. All right, so then I'm going to do some darker inking on this, because I think just in case you'll see the edge, and then same thing here. Just gonna go ahead and get that done. And the bottom. And then since it's open at the top, this will be much easier. I'm just going to ink the inside a little, so that when the envelope is opened, you might see it, but it will be fine. I'm doing this so backwards. Can I make this any more complicated? Probably not. Since I have this going, just do it that way. Okay. Oh, and this side. There we go. Now, if I'm going to do any distressing, I'll do it once this is glued on, because then I can just do it all at once. All right, panel. All right, let's get this glued down. And then I'm thinking about grabbing a stencil for the pocket, potentially. Although I was going to do stamping. Nope. What am I doing? Oh yeah, the panel. Woo-wee. That would not have been good. I would have glued it shut. What good would it have been for me to have slit it open? I would have had to cut it open again, so not all would be lost. Notice how I'm not gluing here, shockingly, but I am going to glue here, because this is panel, closing up this panel here. Or this pocket. I can't think apparently and glue at the same time, so just bear with me. We'll get there. Uh-oh, look it. Gonna have to go in a little bit further, because that glue isn't gonna work. Okay, that side is down. Now we just have to do this side. It's a little bit off, but I think it'll be fine. This side will be much easier. Around we go. Oop, that was definitely over the side. Come on. It's not half full, but there's plenty in there. All right. Ugh, covered in glue again. Here we go. Alrighty. Then this should still be open. Yes, it is. Excellent. All the way down? Let's find out. Ugh, glue all over me. Yes. Okay, we have a pocket. Perfect. All right, let's close this up, and then I'm gonna cut the top with, I'm gonna add a little notch. That's what I was trying to say. I'm gonna notch it. Do you want to do it straight in the center? Probably. Like that-ish. Oh boy. Nope. Guess what? That ain't happening. Not all together, at least. All right. This ought to be interesting. Let's try to go right. Seriously? What is the deal here? Is it because I'm trying to do it in the weirdest angle possible? Maybe. I mean, it's thick, but it's not that thick. Is there something wrong with this thing? Oh, you know what? There is something wrong with this thing. Okay, it's the punch, not me. All right, let me go find one that will work. All right, this one ought to work, except for I won't be able to see where I'm going with it, so I gotta go in this direction. But I bet I can do both sides at once. This flippy floppy is also becoming a flippy floppy on my desk. Can I get this? Oh, geez. Okay. It's a combo problem. It's me and it's the punch and the paper. All right. Stand her up. Let's go this route. There. Gee whiz. Okay. Now I should be able to do this side. Just lining it up. There we go. And I gotta glue this back down. There we go. Whew. I was gonna say, I mean, it's thick, but it ain't that thick. Apparently it is. But that other punch, there's something wrong with it, because it should have definitely gone through one side. It was a lot of work, and then it's all wonky anyway. Just go ahead and do that. Oh, it's both sides too. Of course it is. Meh, it's not circular anymore. How are we gonna fix that? You know how we're gonna fix that? We're just gonna destroy it anyway. There. Now it's a mess either way. Oh, that looks awful. That's so hacked. I can't live with that. Must fix. Stand it back up. I could edit this all out, but I'm not gonna, because you guys ought to see what it's like. Have the confidence to work through the problems. If I can do it, you can do it. There. Okay, that's better. I don't think I could have lived with that. A little bit more inking. Try not to rip the pocket open. See what I meant about how when you open it up, you're gonna see. That's what I was trying to convey. All right, let's get this job done. So, pocket is gonna go here. Then we're left with all kinds of lovely room for like a tag. Like, where are those tags we made? What did I do with it? Here it is. So, see how that's gonna look cool on there? Yes, let's add that into the kit. All right, let's do some stamping. Where is a piece of... Oh, here it is. Space. Oh, isn't even that big of a mess right now. Stamps. I know you guys come here for the creativity, but I think you also come here for the comedy, because I'm hilarious. Just kidding. I'm like a physical comedian, you know, getting laughs by my blunders. Or you're not at all. I don't know. Maybe I'm not funny. I think I'm kind of funny sometimes. Okay. What if we do this really big one? I don't know which way this is supposed to go. It looks like... What is this? Oh, it's got measurements, like degrees, like a circumference thing. So do we do it? Oh, let's do it like that. Do I have a block big enough? Maybe-ish. That'll work. All right. Should we do some stenciling before that? Let's try that. I have this weird sciencey one. What if we do, what should we do? What's this area? How about we do this area? Kind of over here. Whatever this is. I don't know if this is really gonna show. We're gonna try it out. It's faint, but it works for me. Okay. We also have, what else do I have here? Coffee ring. Let's do that after we do this. I don't want to abuse the coffee ring. Like, how messy was this guy or the people around him, really? All right. Now, shall we get it the right, let's see, this way? This way. Let's do it like this. Off to the side. That's where it's going. Oh, look at that. That's great. I don't have anything to clean that off with right now, but I will shortly. Ooh, yeah, look at that. I do feel like now it looks a little weird having this over here. So let's do a little also over here. Maybe this scripty bit. What did we use here? Yeah, and then I think it still needs something up here. Just a little hint of something. And something in the middle. Now it's just too clean. This equation-y looking thing. That works for me. Okay. What else can we put on there? I have a number. Should we do a number? If we're gonna do a number, we should stamp it. Maybe we do these numbers. What does this look like? We go like that, or should we do the big ones? I don't really want it to be 1, 2, 3, but what if we did this middle section? How am I going to do that? Without anything to clean it with. I'm going to get a Post-it. I'm going to try this. This is not the most economical way to use Post-its, but that's okay. How am I going to do this here? I think what I'm going to do is just the bottom row, and I want to start with the 3, and then we'll go off the side. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to try to ink that. I didn't even put it on a block. I guess we're just going for it. Okay, we'll get rid of those. Then we'll go right down here. Yeah, right there. Probably should have used a block. I'll just do that. Reverse block. Alright, now that needs to be cleaned. And then, oh yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Okay. Masking for the win. And guess what? Monday is probably going to be masking because I love doing that. I don't do it often, but I like doing it a lot. As you can see, I did some of that here. So I think that'll be Monday. Not Monday. M. The letter M. Ooh. Alrighty. Still want to do a coffee stain, but now I'm not so sure. I've got a lot going on here. Yeah, I'm going to skip the coffee on this one, but it's definitely going to go somewhere. I mean, it's perfect. That may be one of those last touches we do. Okay, let's get this glued down. And I think that's going to be it for us today because this is probably long enough. So I'll get this glued down. We'll take a look and we'll talk about what's coming up. So let's see. We're going to go right there at the bottom and get that glued down. Oh, I didn't even realize this and this. Oh, oh well, that works. Okay. So now we have, let's find something we can stick in it. Maybe not that big. Ah, it doesn't matter. So then we'll have a little pocket there. Or we'll have a pocket, hello, here and something here. Now, the only thing about having stuff stick out of pockets like that is I'm gonna wanna make sure I have something on the back of that. This is either way. So, cool. All right, so there we go. We have K is for kit and craft. Ta-da. So, now the only thing I have to do is this. So I'm gonna do this as we say goodbye. So friends, check out the rest of my playlist if you haven't already. If you are new around here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Welcome. If you have been around for a while, would you give me a thumbs up if you haven't already? And would you consider doing that more often? And then comments. Comments are so great. I love it. I'm going to be spending some time later today catching up on my comments for the week, to say hello to friends and just kind of connect. And then, yeah, we have more content coming. And there's a plethora. Where are my scissors? Or no, scissors. Tweezers. Of cool stuff out there. So I've been poking around and looking at what other people are making. Found some really cool new people to follow. So click on the hashtag ABC April and make sure you are checking out what other people are doing. I have a feeling I'm gonna need to get more alcohol in there. This is all happenstance. This is working because I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's all for today. Next we will be tackling, what is today? K, L. L. I think we're gonna do labels or something simple-ish. But we'll find out, won't we? Because I don't know yet. Oh, I have added too much. All right, friends, that's all for me today. I will keep carrying on with this and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.